So, alright, so what I want to do with you, Anthony, for the first private lesson that we have is work on understanding what Roman numerals are.
Okay.
Do you know how to spell out your Roman numerals, just 1 through 10, that sort of thing?
1 through 7, I think it was what I know.
Okay.
Well.
What we use is 1 through 7, and if we want to have a quote-unquote 8, that is just your tonic, which is 1.
Okay.
You might hear me refer to the dominant, the tonic, that sort of thing. The dominant is the 5 chord. The 1 chord is referred to as tonic. So the first thing that I want to do with you real quick is just some breathing exercises, warm up, that sort of thing. I know we just went through chorale, but I just want to make sure you got everything, okay? So let's just start and see. Alright, change it to a D, like D, and really bring it forward.
D.
Okay. Okay. Another thing I want to do is, this doesn't necessarily involve this, but I do want to show you this. It's a breathing technique where you take a low breath, so to speak. So if you were to look at my stomach, I would inhale, and as my stomach retracts, the low breath is just dropping the weight. So you'll see this? It's like I just drop my diaphragm. That is a low breath, and that's something that you'll pick up in chorale and learn how to do. So if we go in more private lessons like this, that's something that I'm going to want to help you with, because I'm probably going to give you a piece sooner or later to work on.
Okay.
Did you hear something else?
Not sure what that was.
I thought I heard something. I didn't know what it was, though. If you want to take a seat, we can do that. Okay. So what I'm going to show you is I've got these chords written down here. It's 1 all the way to 7 back to 1. Do you understand what this represents, these numbers?
The root, 3rd, and 5th?
Yes. So in other cases, you can call it scale degree 1, 3, and 5.
Okay.
With that, that's how you establish a chord. So if I were to write out, say, a 1, 4, 5, 1, could you transfer the idea of the scale degree number into solfege? I don't know if you solfeges.
Maybe not solfege. I can maybe play it though. Okay.
So let's run through solfege real quick.
Okay.
We'll use C just as the example. This is our scale degree 1. That's do. Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yeah, you know it. You know your solfege.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So a chord progression of 1, 4, 5, 1 is a standard progression that's used for a lot of hip-hop songs, that sort of stuff. You'll probably hear it if you're listening to it on the car on your way home today. So I want you to understand this. If I were to give you a chord progression, what is the baseline? Does that make sense?
I think so.
So if I were to have a 1, 4, 5, 1, in my left hand, I would play 1, 4, 5, 1. While on the right hand, it would be 1, 4, 5, 1.
Okay.
So this bass line is what I'm wanting you to really work with, because you have a very deep, hearty bass voice, and I think that it would work very well for you.
Okay.
So I want to give you the standard 1, 4, 5, 1 that we're talking about. With the 1 chord, where does the bass note lie?
The root.
Okay, so the root is also known as what?
Tonic.
Okay, that's scale degree 1. In the key of C, what is our tonic on?
C.
Okay. So what about scale degree 4? Or what about? I just gave you the answer. What about chord 4, the 4 chord?
That would be starting on an F.
So what about chord 5?
G.
Okay, and then we just go back to 1, which would be?
A. Oh no, C. Sorry.
Okay. Let's mix it up a little bit. I've given you all of these scale degrees. I haven't given you what the actual note name would be or how you can move about this sort of thing, but I want to write down just a couple chord progressions and see what all you can pick up on, okay?
Okay.
And I'm just going to start writing this entire, like, symphony. Now, this might sound weird, but in all actuality, it's not supposed to matter what the chords are. So what I've given you is a 3 chord, a 4 chord, a 6 chord, and a 1 chord. You You have the template here, so can you tell me what the 3 chords bass note would be in the key of C?
So the 3 would be an E.
Yes. And I forget to mention this. An easy way to understand your Roman numerals is, let's say we're in the key of C. Our 1 chord is always C, E, G. It's always going to be your triad. So in our 2 chord, it would be D, F sharp, A.
Yeah.
In 3, it would be E, G, B. So on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the 3 chord, can you tell me what the bass line is and the other two notes associated with that chord?
So I said that was E. So
we're in the key of C.
E, F sharp, or F.
It wouldn't be F.
E,
You're just
G.
going up one. There you go.
So E, G, D.
Don't jump the gun. It's E, G. What's the other 2 notes up from G?
B.
Yes.
Okay.
In this case, it would be G
There's
sharp.
minor, right?
There's that minor. Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
With that, there's our 3 chord. What about the 4 chord?
So F, A,
In
C, and that would be E major, so.
Yep. There's the 4 chord. So what about our 6 chord then?
A, C, E.
Yep. It would be A, C sharp, E.
C sharp, E. Okay.
In this case, it doesn't necessarily matter. I'm just saying, hey, if you can get the letters down, that's fine.
So it goes 4, 3 to make a major, right? Okay.
And then our 6 chord revolves to our 1 chord, which would be?
C, E, G.
Yes. I'm gonna throw a little bit of something in here as well. This will be one of the last things that we do.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and show you what basic triad inversions are. Basic idea that we have is, let's take scale degree 1. That would be do, mi, sol, and solfege terms. That's just how my brain operates.
Yeah,
If
so
you
do, mi, so, mi, do.
do you want me to put it in like 1, 3, 5 or anything like that? Would that help?
I think I get it.
Okay,
I'll roll it from here.
I will throw it in there just in case you need a point of reference.
Okay.
You have the 1 chord. Now, an inversion that you can throw on any of these chords is known as 6. So instead of having a 1, you have a 1-6 chord. Do you have any idea what that might do to the chord?
It's essentially like the C won't be the bottom note, but it'll be played somewhere else. So like it could be like 3, 5, 1. So it would give it.
That
like
is exactly what it is for 1-6. It's 3, 5, 1. And the way that you would do that, instead of having 1, 3, 5, our 1-6 would be 3, 5, 1, and you just take that and move it an octave up. The next idea is 6, 4. What do you think that does? So I will also.
If it's an inversion, probably 5, 1, 3 or 5, 3, 1.
5, 1, 3, exactly. So instead of having your standard C, E, G, you switch it to a 1, 6, 4, and you have G, C, and E. Now that you've seen this, I want to give you 1, maybe 2 more progressions that we can just go through so we can try and fill up just a little bit more time.
Okay.
I'm going to give you starting off on a 4 chord, moving to a 1, 6, 4, to another 4. In the theory world, this is known as a passing 6, 4, and I will explain it a little bit later if you want to, but that's not necessarily something we need to work on today. I want it to go to a 5, then a 1, 6, and then just resolve to a standard 1.
Okay.
So with the 4 chord, let's do this, in the key of D major, what is my 4 chord?
In D major?
If you need to look at the keyboard for reference, do that. If it helps you to be visual with this sort of thing.
Let's see. G. D.
G. You said D or B?
Hold on. C, B, F, G.
Yes. That is your 4 chord in there. Alright, so there's our 4 chord established. What is my 1, 6, 4?
Is it in the key of D?
Yes, in the key of D. So in this case, our D is our 1 chord, is scale degree 1, F sharp is scale degree 3, and A is scale degree 5. If I want a 1, 6, we've already got the 1, 3, and 5 there, but it's in an inversion.
Yeah.
So what would that inversion change it to? Instead of it being 1, 3, 5.
5, 3, 1.
Okay, so our 4 chord
Okay.
would switch then to a 1, 6, 4, which is...
Okay.
So then I want it to resolve back to the 4 chord. What all would I need to do from here?
If you're going from the... You said 1 to the 4 or 4 to the 1?
I want to take, we have the 4 to the 1, 6, 4 established. I want to take the 1, 6, 4 and move it back to the 4. So we'll have... What all would I need to do just to change this? And if you need to look at the keyboard, by all means, go ahead.
Okay.
And for point of reference, this would be your scale degree 1, 3, and 5.
Would you move your fingers over just 1?
Let's do this. Instead of just asking the question,
Okay.
I want you to play it for me. And take as much time as you need to understand it and put it in. I will give. Let's do with the 4 chord first, and I'll help you with that. So your 4 chord is going to be G, B, and D. Okay, and I can move the 10th octave if you need to move your hand over.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and just move this. So there's our 4 chord. It would be G, B, and D. So here's your G. So our 1, 6, 4 is 5, 3, 1.
Yeah.
Now we see with our 4 chord right here, if I have 4, 6, and 1, what else do I need to get my 5 and 3?
Going 4, 6, 1, 5, 7, 2. Wouldn't you just go over?
Not quite. You would actually take your scale degree 1, move that. I'm putting that in the key of C, my bad. That's just for me to reference. So here's the 1 chord, move to a 4 chord. My 1 chord is D, F sharp, A. I've got the D here. I need the A and I need the F sharp. So what you would do is, since you have 4, 6, and 1, the 1 remains. Just take the 5, raise it to 6, and the 3, raise it to 4. So in this case, you're actually going to move backwards, and it would be D, your F sharp, and A. And it does not need to be that far over, so you just have your D right here, your F sharp, and then your A. You just need the 3 fingers.
Okay.
Okay. Place it right there, and then take your pinky off of this. There's no need to have a doubled octave at the end.
Okay.
So you have your F sharp, your A, and your D. So that's a 1, 6, 4.
Okay.
Then we'll move it back to a 4 chord. And can you tell me what the 4 chord is in D major?
So it'd be F.
Not quite. Here's the D. That's scale degree 1. Your F sharp is scale degree 3.
Okay.
So if I want to go back to the 4 chord, I need to start with scale degree 4.
Is it F sharp?
No, F sharp is your scale degree 3.
Okay.
So go over 1 to the G. That's your 6, or that's your 4. Yes.
Okay.
There's your 4 chord. What about 5? What all do I need to do for that? And you don't need to play it, you can just tell me with this as well. With that one, I just wanted to see if you knew where your chords were exactly, but that might
Would
be
you do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright. What about my 1, 6?
Let's see, 1, 6, if I can remember that.
How about this? What are the scale degrees in the 1 chord?
In 1?
Mm-hmm.
So D, G.
No need to give letter names, just scale degree, just to make that a little bit easier. So just in my 1 chord, what are the 3 scale degrees to make my triad?
Wouldn't that be Do, Mi, So?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so in my 1, 6, we know that the inversion of 1, 6 is not 1, 3, 5, but actually 3, 5, 1.
Yeah.
So here's my 1, 3, 5. Tell me where I need to go to make that 1, 6 inversion.
Alright, so you just 1, 3, 5, right?
Mm-hmm. I got 1, 3, and 5.
So now you need to do 5, 3, 1.
5, 3, 1 is our 1, 6, 4.
Oh, you're doing a 1, 6.
Mm-hmm. The 1, 6 is a 3, 5, 1. So what all do I need to change here?
just bring that down an octave? No.
Bring the A down the octave?
Yeah.
You actually won't necessarily do that. In theory, they teach you start from the bottom up. So I'll take
Okay.
the D and move that up the octave.
Okay.
So then I have 3, 5, 1.
Okay.
Does that make a bit more sense now? Was that kind of
Yeah.
like, was there a gap there that wasn't necessarily filled just yet?
I think I'm getting it.
Okay. And if you have questions, please ask me because this is exactly why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
What is there anything else that you're confused on with this so far?
Not necessarily. More so just me like just sitting down and getting used to it after a little bit.
Okay. I want you to write me a chord progression.
Okay.
I know this might seem weird, but from what you know, write me a chord progression. What do you think would be a good chord progression? And it can be anything that you want to put in there. It doesn't have to be like 1, 2, 4, 1 or 1, 4, 5, 1, the basic stuff. You don't necessarily need to have that. And let's do 6 chords. And after that, we'll move on to just one of the last steps that we've got in here.
All right. Excuse my handwriting.
Oh,
So
dude, fine.
4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 1.
Okay, 4, 5, 6, so 4, 5, 1.
Yeah.
We're gonna put this in the key of A.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me what the bass line for this is.
So for the 4 chord, it's in the key of A.
Mm-hmm. Here's my 3, here's my 5.
So
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's the 4 chord. What about my 5 chord? Yes. Where's my 6 chord at?
hold on.
Yeah, of course.
There we go. So now, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we
Yes.
go.
There's the 6. What about my 4? How am I gonna get back there?
Let's see.
Now we're spelling, that's the 6 chord that we have.
Yeah. Now we're going back to 4.
Mm-hmm. And just for, if you want to use
That's
my,
right. That's right. We're in A.
yes. Here's scale rate 1, 3, 5. This is the 6 chord we're on. 4, 6, 1. How do I get back to scale degree 4 from here? Yes. All right. What about scale degree 5? All right. And then what about scale degree 1?
And then let's see.
And our starting key is A major, not G major.
Okay.
So just shift that over 1, and then that should be your A major chord. A, C sharp, E. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Do you think that you are able to comprehend this? Are there things that still, let me rephrase this. Are there still gaps that need to be filled?
Not at the moment.
Do you have any questions about this? What else you can do to kind of mess around with it?
For me, it would just be going back and remembering all of like how many sharps and flats that A major or D major has in it. So
And that's something that you learn in like theory 1, theory 2, and that's not what I'm wanting you to figure out. With this, it's just so it's anatomically correct. It's so that it would be correct pitch-wise instead of having a minor. All right. I want to do one last thing.
okay.
I'm going to give you 1 chord, and I just want you to tell me the bass line for it. So I'm going to give you a 7 chord, to a 5, a 1, then to a 6. Let's have it go to a 4, a 2, and then back to a 1.
Okay.
So-
What key?
Let's do our key of C major.
So that would be B for the 7.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, so what about scale degree 5? And with this, we don't need to spell out the chords in
Okay.
this one. I just want you to see where's the bass line on this going to be.
That would be a G.
Okay. So moving from B to G. Mm-hmm. Okay, what about dot scale degree 1. Okay.
1.
And then what about my 6th chord? Where would that be?
That'd be an A.
Yes. And then my 4 chord?
F.
Yes.
Then
And then my 2?
D is 2, and then 1 is C.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for this.
Yeah, anytime.
Now, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to have you for another private lesson. I need to see what Dr. Austin says about this.
Sure.
I might be switching to a freshman that doesn't necessarily understand these sort of techniques.
Okay.
So that it's not only helping me, but it's helping them understand it for the next theory class that they're about to move into.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
Thank you
good
very
to
much,
me.
Anthony.
Glad to help.